But across the country, it is a different story. Calls are growing louder for President Biden to step aside, and it's fueling speculation that Democratic convention delegates could be tempted to choose another nominee. Nearly 4,000 delegates have committed to nominating President Joe Biden, but they can change their minds.
They're free to do whatever they want. That's the democratic process. It's not going to happen.
So while some have said an open convention discredits millions of Democrats who voted for the president in the primaries, others say it's the right move. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, who joins us now. So, Khalif, this is a big what if, right? Because President Biden has said that he is staying in the race, he is going to run. But what if he does choose to withdraw? What happens next?
Multiple things could happen. I mean, and I like that you started with that portion, because since the debate has happened, the conversation is he going to step down? Should he step down? He needs to step down. And it hasn't got to the question of, he's already said it a number of times, I will not step down. But if we get to this hypothetical where he does decide to step down, you can go a couple of ways. You can go to do something called a mini primary. Claiborne out of South Carolina has recommended doing that. There was an ed op piece in the New York Times that recommended going that same way. Political strategist James Carville said the same thing, that a mini primary would allow this to go forward. If you didn't do a mini primary, you could also do an open convention where you go there and any candidate comes in and they all can shoot their, have an opportunity to figure out who's going to be their candidate. And then you can do something called a broker primary, where you go into this broker convention, you go in there and you've kind of already made up your mind behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and nobody really wants that. That's how it happened throughout a long time until about 1970s, and then Democratic rules changed. During that time, deals were made, voters were kind of shifted out of the way, and people in Chicago, D.C., and New York decided who was going to be the nominee. This open process, the primary process, would be the best way if he decided to step down, where you still had the voters have an opportunity to make a decision based on the delegates that they sent to the convention.
So I want to go back to the mini primary, because not a lot of people have heard this term before. What exactly does that look like?
It'll just be candidates. I mean, obviously Harris would be the top person, and anyone else like Gavin Newsom and any other person that's shown themselves to be a loyal supporter, someone that could have a number of backing both financially and be able to drive the votes. They would all present themselves. They would have many debates during this time frame at the convention, and then there would be a vote within the delegates that are sent to the convention to make a determination who's going to be the party's nominee. And that mini primary allows the people to still feel like their votes were not wasted, because we had primary votes. And if they don't, allow that process to take place, it will feel like, you just shifted aside the American voters.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, President Biden has said that he is staying in the race, so nothing could happen too at the same time, but only time will tell for sure. Khalif, thanks for your input.